Welcome back to the BodyMaitre podcast. I'm your host, Derek, and today we continue our series, How Bad Guys Work. In this season, we look deep into the consciousness mechanics behind hurtful behavior, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of understanding the root causes within the four bodies. So far, we've explored the betrayer, the manipulator, the gaslighter, the liar, the emotional vampire, the cold-hearted person, and the boundary breaker. Today, we examine one of the most intimidating and reactive archetypes, the aggressor, the one who uses force, dominance, intensity, or intimidation as their first reaction to discomfort. Most people assume aggressors are simply angry people, but aggression is never born from pure anger. Aggression is a shield, a defense, a protection strategy. Aggressors react with force because they don't feel safe, they fear losing control, they fear being vulnerable, they fear being exposed, or they fear being hurt. Again, aggression is the armor they use to survive. But underneath the armor is usually a wounded inner child who learned that softness, openness, and honesty led to pain. Picture this. A man grows up in a home where expressing emotions was dangerous. If he cried, he was mocked. If he hesitated, he was punished. If he showed softness, he was told to man up. He learns that quiet equals weak. Sadness equals weak. Fear equals weak. Kindness equals weak. So the only safe emotion becomes anger. Anger becomes his shield. Anger becomes his protection. Anger becomes his identity. When something triggers him, even something small, his four bodies instantly switch into defense. He raises his voice. He becomes harsh. He becomes intimidating. He becomes controlling. Not because he enjoys hurting others, but because aggression is the only emotional language he learned. This is the aggressor's consciousness pattern. Aggressors often come from environments where survival required dominance, where softness was punished, where boundaries were violated, or where vulnerability was unsafe. So they carry those patterns into adulthood, automatically reacting with control instead of communication. But as always, we turn to the four bodies to understand the deeper root causes. So we asked Spirit and the collective angelic team, what are the four bodies patterns commonly found in aggressors, and what energetic and consciousness distortions push someone into aggression? Here are the findings. First, the spiritual body carries negative implants related to superiority programming. The aggressor's spiritual body carries negative implants that create a superiority focus. This programming makes the person feel the need to dominate, to appear stronger than others, or to stay above others to avoid vulnerability. This superiority overlay is not true confidence. It is a spiritual distortion that masks fear with dominance. Next, the mental body shows patterns of lying and hiding. The mental body shows patterns of deception and concealment. Aggressors often hide their true feelings, hide their fears, and lie to protect their emotional weaknesses. They fear being exposed, so they create mental walls, pushing others away through force before anyone can see what's underneath. Then, the emotional body feels unloved. The emotional body holds a deep imprint of feeling unloved, unseen, unvalued, unprotected. This creates a wounded emotional core that reacts harshly whenever intimacy, affection, or vulnerability is expected. Aggression becomes their emotional armor to avoid feeling unlovable. Finally, the physical body carries past wounds, causing them to look at life through angry eyes. The physical body carries unresolved wounds, old pain, and tension. These past wounds distort perception. The aggressor sees life through angry eyes, interpreting neutral situations as threats, turning misunderstandings into attacks, and reacting to the present based on old pain. This physical imprint makes anger their default lens. When these four bodies distortions merge, they create a person who believes, I must appear strong, I must not be vulnerable. I must protect myself first. I must control before I get hurt. Aggression becomes a survival strategy, a barrier against perceived threats, a mask protecting a frightened inner world. Aggressors are not powerful. They are scared. Their armor is loud, but their wounds are silent. If you recognize these patterns in yourself or others, let's take a moment to release and clear these distortions with spirit, your high self, and the collective angelic team. Speak these softly or follow in silence with intention. For the spiritual body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release all superiority programming and negative implants. Please restore humility, balance, and authentic strength to my spiritual body. For the mental body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release all patterns of hiding, deception, and protecting truth with aggression. Please restore clarity, honesty, and openness in my mental body. For the emotional body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release all emotional wounds of feeling unloved or unworthy. Please restore self-love, emotional safety, and healthy expression. For the physical body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release all past wounds stored in my physical body and the habit of seeing life through anger or fear. Please restore calmness, grounding, and neutral perception. Take a deep breath and let the pattern soften, dissolve, and lift. Thank you for joining me in episode 8 of How Bad Guys Work. Today, we explored the aggressor, the spiritual distortions, mental defenses, emotional wounds, and physical tension that create aggressive behavior. In the next episode, we explore another extreme archetype. Episode 9, The Narcissist, Why Some People Build a False Self and Crave Admiration. Until then, stay conscious, stay aware, and take care of your 4 bodies.